It swings and drives it way back.
Pike gets destroyed by Ramel Pratt.
Shot, drop step, turn around, jumper
To Scott throws it down with a right-hand slam. Kept alive by Landisberg, tips it ahead to Farrakhan. He's going to throw it down with a one-hand jam.
Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Geico, the Virginia Athletics Foundation, the Virginia Lottery, and by UVA Health Systems.
On this edition of Cavalier Sports Weekly,
it's a learning process, but for me, it's a way to evaluate when guys are in the game, what their makeup is.
Keith Werman scoops it up, throws to first. It's perfection!
Welcome to Cavalier Sports Weekly. I'm Claudia Blandford from Virginia's NCAA Championship rowing team. We usually start off with Play of the Week, but this week we're going to start off with something more like Play of the Decade.
Here's the 1-1. It's a ground ball to Keith Werman. Scoops it up, throws to first. It's perfection!
Once I got to the 7th, 8th, and 9th, it was really just, I want to make this happen, and I'm going to do what it takes.
Stay tuned. Virginia game highlights are coming up next.
That's a called strike three. How about Will Roberts? He'll strike out the side here in the top of the 6th inning.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to the show. Our motto here at Virginia is uncompromised excellence. But on Tuesday, Will Roberts went beyond excellence and achieved perfection.
Very effective.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Here's the 2-2. That's a called strike three.
He was down in the zone. They swung at a lot of first pitch strikes that they put into play.
Ground ball chopper charging in is Keith Werman. Sidearm toss to first, 2 away.
You can go with just about anything. Next pitch, check swing, he went around.
He was throwing with really good velocity. That breaking pitch was as good as I've seen it, in his career.
Roberts' first pitch to best on the way. Swings and chops this one back to the mound. Will Roberts, a great play to scoop it up. Now underhands to Hicks at first.
When I got out there, I just got in the groove. We made some great plays in the field. Worm came up big. At second base, he made a lot of tough plays coming in on the ball.
Over the head of Roberts, moving in is Keith Werman to make the play.
The 0-2 delivery from Roberts. Swing and a miss. Strike three. 2-2 delivery from Roberts. Swing and a miss.
He got stronger as the game went on. I mean, he started ready to go right away, and he was really, really good the back half of the game.
That's a called strike three. How about Will Roberts? He'll strike out the side here in the top of the 6th inning.
It was just kind of a lull in the 5th and 6th innings. It was kind of just like a build-up, kind of just like, is this kind of going to happen? And then once I got to the 7th, 8th, and 9th, it was really just, I want to make this happen, and I'm going to do what it takes.
It's a comebacker, hits Will Roberts' legs, picks it up, low toss to first, in time for the out. Wow.
That's probably the luckiest play I've ever made in my life. I had no idea what was going on. I just felt it sting my leg. I guess I went back for it, and it hit my leg, and I don't know how, but it just deadened. I don't think the baseball has ever done that. That was the one lucky play. I mean, I feel like every game is going to have one of those, and that was it for me.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's a called strike three. Woo! Will Roberts fooling Bowers with the curveballs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Roberts registers K number 10, and it's 26 up, 26 down. Here's the 1-1. It's a ground ball to Keith Werman. Scoops it up, throws to first. It's perfection!
Perfect game. I mean, like, I've probably only seen two, like, Burley's on TV and Will Roberts. Like, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like, that's just, like, to be a part of that and just, you know, spur of the moment, we just were like, whoa, dude, get up there. So we just, like, pulled him up, pushed him up on our shoulders. So, but it was awesome.
That shows what our team's about, you know, that they recognize that one of their teammates made a major accomplishment. You know, the fact that they lift the kid up, you know, on our field with our fans is really cool. It made me smile, and it still brings a smile to my face because, you know, I know how hard that kid's worked and how much he's wanted it, and now this year it's finally coming to fruition for him.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Reached for and popped over on one hop to the shortstop Taylor, to Werman for one. Over onto first base for the double play.
After the first inning, Danny Holtzen pitched very good. You know, it's always tough when you're scoring a lot of runs and when you're sitting in that dugout on a cold night to continue to go back out there. But, you know, he really settled in by the third and fourth inning. I thought that he ended up pitching a pretty good baseball game.
Pitch into Schwab, and he drills it to left. Moving back is Andrew Rash. Gets over his head and bounces off the wall. Coming home to score is John Hicks. Levine will stay at third. Kenny Schwab has himself a 2-out RBI double. Here's the 2-2. This ball is lifted into right. Chad Pender dives back over his glove. Coming home to score for the Cavaliers is Gragnani. Charging into second and heading over to third is Jared King.
Been talking to a lot of friends and family over the last week, and they've all been behind me and just couldn't wait for me to get home, and so I'm glad I was able to put on a pretty good performance out here for them.
The 0-1 pitch is lined into left. Hustling over is John Barr right at the 330 sign. They're going to send the runner home. Here's the throw to Taylor. Now the play at the plate. Toasted home plate. Just wants that outside view as King delivers. Scorches one to third. One run is in. Now the play at the plate. Make it two.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by UVA Health Systems.
Saturday was a big day at Scott Stadium with the men's lacrosse team taking on Maryland, followed by the football team's orange and blue spring game. Let's check out the highlights.
Modeled himself after John Copper. Here on third down out of the shotgun. Rocco throws over the middle. It's intercepted to the 44 by who else but Chase Minifield. Stepping in front of that pass, Chase.
I was watching to see who had the big eyes. Sometimes, you get out there and you get that deer in the headlight look. I wanted to see if the quarterbacks were taking command of the huddle. I wanted to see that Finney was in there that was vocal and was expressing, hey, we got to pick it up. And I like to see that because then sometimes when you're on the sideline, you don't get to hear that chatter. You don't get to see whether there's composure. You don't get to see whether someone's rattled, and that provides me an opportunity to do that. So that's why I do it. I had to remind David Wofford there's a 40-second clock up there. That'll come. It'll come because he could have called timeout, or with the time that he had, sped everybody else up and run the play without an incident or penalty. So it's a learning process, but for me, it's a way to evaluate when guys are in the game, what their makeup is.
Here's a completion right on the right side as Rocco slings that into Gooch.
I thought defensively we played on both sides of the ball, both units did a nice job, and that's what we're kind of looking for. Looking for the transition from 3-4 to 4-3. Guys been able to play the run. Safeties understanding that our linebackers now the run fits. Defensive linemen understanding, you go from the two-gap scheme now to the, on the edge. And I think that Coach Reed, the defensive coaches, have done a nice job so far in spring about implementing some more aggressiveness. And as you saw out there today, they did a good job versus the run, put some pressure on the quarterback. We're light years ahead of where we were before we first started out.
Saying, I like the way it is. He takes the straight drop back, four-man rush. Pass going to be completed on the far flat right. Roy Reynolds is there to make the hit. To his left, one to the right in the form of Pickett. Takes the snap, slings the pass. That one's intercepted. There was a miscue, and it goes right to the defensive back. Nobody in front across the 40 to the 35, 30. Going down the near sideline, right into the end zone. Touchdown.
I'm looking for a guy to have command of the huddle, to have a presence about him. And in a situation like this, when it's open, when it's competitive, guys have to step up and step forward for that. He's had a really good spring. He's really improved in his technique, and again, it just goes back to just guys having some consistency and being able to play a position after a transition of another defense. And this spring has really benefited him and most of all the other guys on defense. Leroy Reynolds, made some plays out there. We're looking for a guy that can also complement Cam Johnson, who's out, but will be back in the fall. I think Billy made a big step forward because he was going against Morgan Moses and John Casarano, guys that have played in games.
Rocco is going out of the shotgun now. He's got a receiver to the left, three to the right, looks to the right. Now he's got a lob to the end zone. Man, a wide open touchdown. Morgan makes the catch for the Orange team. Brendan Morgan, the redshirt freshman out of Toronto, Ontario, comes up with the catch in the end zone.
I think they enjoyed it. I think the competition part of it was something that was welcomed. It's the first time in a long time that I can remember that we actually had a spring game and kickoff return, punt returns, all those things. It's as close to a game, that we had since our last game, and we'll do a spring game again next year.
Speed up the right pipe, fires, low angle and scores. Steele, Stanwyck takes it himself and gives Virginia the 1-0 lead. Now emerges above the goal line, Haldy fires and scores. Runs right through him, fires left-handed and rifles it through. It's 4-2 Wahoo. Now coming towards the rack, steps away from it. Haldy skip pass across the field, finds Ramel. Catch it, Craig, score. Ramel Bratton, a low-to-low rip to the bottom right corner. Stretches the lead back to 3. Good look by Haldy, the senior.
Ramel, if he hangs out there or sets that pit, you kind of try to occupy as much of this traffic as you can. Take a good shot, find some net, and bury it. Let's go. Boston, let's go get him.
They really, kind of carried the play to us in the second half. I don't think we ever really stopped playing, but they were just sharper and kind of took advantage of us, kind of on and off the ball at our defensive end of the field. And we had some chances that we didn't drop. I thought their kid in the goal did a nice job, but Adam also played well for us. So for us, just not good enough, especially in the second half of the ball game.
Feeds, man cutting in, top of the box. It's Michael Shakespeare, gets free, fires right-handed, shot, score.
We had some chances on extra man. We had to make a change right before game on extra man, and that clearly kind of hurt our rhythm. We just never seemed to be moving the ball with enough confidence on the extra man, and I thought there were a couple opportunities in the game when, even in the third quarter, when we might have gotten something done there, and weren't able to cash in. And I thought it was a great atmosphere for a game. I thought the place looked great, a nice crowd, and so there was a lot to be happy about. So like I say, I don't regret the decision one bit coming over here and doing this. We just want to be a team that continues to improve, and I don't think you saw a lot of evidence of that today.
Coming up after the break.
he's now called national champion, which is really neat.
This portion of Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Virginia Athletics Foundation.
Our men's tennis team has been ranked #1 all year, and this Friday they took on their toughest competition yet, hosting ACC rival Duke. Let's check out the match story.
I think the mindset of this team is definitely different than the last two teams I've been a part of. You know, I'm in my third season here, and this team is all about just the process. We are on an everyday basis looking to get better, and whether that's playing a match or whether it's in practice, you know, there's no really stepping back or taking time off. You know, this team's really about performing well in May. And if that means we have to come out and play a great match, we're going to be pumped for that. If we have to, you know, go out and practice, we're going to be just as pumped for that. So, credit to everyone on this team. You know, where everyone gets it, everyone's in it for the long run, and you know, we're trying to play our best in May.
First of all, it was really good to be back home, and we knew the conditions weren't going to be perfect today. We knew it was going to be a little chilly, and Duke's always one of the toughest ACC matches. You know, they have some really quality players in their team, and they're good in doubles. They play good fundamental doubles, and they're good in singles. So we knew we had our hands full coming into this match. I feel all of us did a really good job just adapting to the conditions, and starting from the doubles, you know, we stayed solid, played within ourselves, which is really important, which is something we talked about pre-match, and I feel we were able to do that and take the momentum from then after the doubles point.
We were definitely pumped. We were away for 6 weeks, so it's definitely great to come back and play in front of a home crowd. Duke's always a tough team. They're probably our biggest ACC rival, and you know, it's good to come out and get fired up today. It was good to come out in straight sets today. Felt I played well, served well, and you know, got the break each set and was able to hold out.
We have a new NCAA champion at Virginia. Last week, Matt McClain captured the title in the 500-meter freestyle as he led the Cavaliers to their best team finish in the program's history.
I was really excited before the race. It was a solid prelim swim, and Mark just told me how to get out there and execute. So it was exciting for everything to pay off and have my entire team there.
It's one of the biggest thrills that you can have as a coach. It's unbelievable to watch the development of an athlete over the course of 4 years, and to see all of that hard work come to culmination and to fruition. Just perfect execution of the race plan, something that Matt had worked on really, really hard for 4 years and tried to make it happen the right way. And this time, at the exact right moment, he put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and he's now called national champion, which is really neat.
It's a huge honor, and doing everything that we've done with the team. The team finish was an awesome part. So it's nice how everything just kind of came together. It was a goal, and I accomplished it, so it was a great feeling.
5 of our teams have home games this week, so come down and watch. Who knows, maybe we'll see another perfect game. Baseball entertains Radford on Tuesday before heading to Atlanta later this week to take on Georgia Tech. On Wednesday, our softball team has James Madison in town for a doubleheader. That same evening, women's lacrosse takes on Virginia Tech in Klockner Stadium. Our women's tennis team is back home on Friday and Saturday with important matches against ACC opponents NC State and Wake Forest. Also on Saturday, our men's lacrosse team has another big game when North Carolina comes to Klockner. We'll be back next week with those game stories and more from Virginia Athletics. I'm Claudia Blandford, thanking you for supporting the Cavaliers. Go Hoos!
Cavalier Sports Weekly is brought to you by Geico, the Virginia Athletics Foundation, the Virginia Lottery, and by UVA Health Systems.